The San Diego housing market is finally changing, and this time it's actually a good thing. So stick around because I'm breaking down exactly what's happening and what it really means for you. Hey guys, my name's Nenad and I'm a real estate advisor right here in San Diego. So if you have any questions about life around here, the real estate market, or anything else that you want to know, then just shoot me an email or send me a text. All right, now let's just clear something up right away. So no, home prices are not crashing, but they're also not taking off like they used to. And I know that might be a little disappointing, especially if you're trying to buy a house here. But right now, prices are hovering at about $900,000, which is pretty much the same as last year. Now, there's some parts of San Diego that are still getting a little bit of price growth, but in most of the areas, we're basically staying steady. Now, the number one reason why prices are flat is because mortgage rates were over 7% at one point. So they went from 3 to 4% all the way up to 7%, and monthly payments jumped up by hundreds or sometimes even thousands of dollars. So now all the buyers are reducing their purchase price, and some of them can't even qualify for a loan anymore. So we're basically done with all the crazy bidding wars we had because people just can't afford going way over the asking price anymore. Also, tons of people refinance their mortgages, and 60% of homeowners have a rate that's lower than 4%. So now potential sellers are thinking, why would I sell my house if I have to buy one at a higher interest rate? And now our housing market is in this complete standoff. A lot of people can't buy at these higher rates, and sellers don't want to give up their cheap loans. But let's say you are looking to buy a house right now, then you got to know that there's two types of sellers in our market. So the first type is someone who's just throwing a crazy price out there to see if anyone goes for it. And the second type is someone who actually needs to sell. And if you're buying, this is what you want to look for because it's going to be way easier for you to get a deal here. These sellers are lowering their prices, they're offering credits or interest rate buy downs, and they're just way more open to negotiating. And that means you as the buyer, you have a lot more power now. So definitely take advantage of it. Now, if you like this video so far, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like the video. It really helps the channel grow and it lets me make more content just like this. Another really great tip that I'm giving my clients is to look at houses that have been on the market for 30 plus days, because this is right around the time when sellers start to get nervous and they'll probably accept any reasonable offer you make. Now, if you don't know, our home inventory has basically doubled in the last couple of years. And this might seem like a big jump, but it's still 50% lower than it was before 2020. So right now, we're just over 3 months of inventory in San Diego. And just so you have something to compare that to, back in 2021, we actually had less than 1 month of inventory here. But here's the thing, even with all this new inventory, properties that are priced right and show well, those are still selling within the first week. And that's happening in all the different price ranges here. So even if buyers have more houses to choose from now, the good ones that hit the market are selling really fast. But yes, in general, most properties are sitting on the market longer than they were before. Now you might be saying, why don't they just build more homes so prices come down? Well, you think that they would, but it's a bit more complicated than that. There's a ton of regulations that builders have to go through here, and sometimes it can take years for their projects to get approved. And another thing is San Diego is basically surrounded by ocean and mountains, so it's pretty challenging to find good land to build on. And on top of that, building costs have gone way up. Materials, labor, permits, everything is way more expensive now. So developers have to increase their prices on their homes just so they can make a profit. Most of the condos and townhomes are starting at $700,000 or higher, and for detached homes, those are easily starting at $1 million and more. And that just makes it way harder for first-time home buyers to find something that they can afford. So what does all this mean if you want to buy a house right now in San Diego? Well, if you're thinking you'll just wait for a market crash and swoop right in, then that's probably not going to happen. Home prices are holding steady, foreclosures haven't been going up, and only 16% of homeowners say their mortgage payments are an issue. Now, can prices drop a few percent? Yeah, of course they can. And that's why I always tell my clients that buying real estate is a long-term investment. So if you don't plan on living in San Diego for at least a few years, then honestly, buying a home might not make sense for you. But if you are going to live here for a little while, well, then you have a ton more leverage now. Sellers are willing to drop their prices or give you credits, and bidding wars are way less common now. Also, mortgage rates just dropped by almost a full percent. So let's say at a 7% interest rate, your max purchase price was $1 million, but now at 6%, you can go up to 1.1 million and you'll still have the same monthly payment. And look, I get it. Buying a home in San Diego can definitely feel like a lot, and you don't want to make a mistake on such a big investment. So if you're sitting there wondering, is now really the right time to buy? Well, it depends on your own personal situation. So if you're staying in San Diego long term and you have a stable job and a big enough financial cushion, then it might be the right time. And right now, you can actually write offers with terms that protect you. A couple of years ago, people were waiving all of their inspections just to get the house. But now you can keep all of your contingencies and actually take time to figure out if this is the right house. house. And that means you can negotiate repairs or credits, or you can just walk away if something doesn't work out. Some of my buyers are asking for closing cost credits, money towards repairs, or even interest rate buy downs. And most sellers, they actually end up agreeing. Also, you have way more time to make a decision now. You can go out and visit all the different neighborhoods, and this way you'll know exactly what you're looking for. Back in 2021 and 2022, homes were flying off the market, and you missed your chance if you didn't make an offer right away. And so many buyers I had got beat out by cash offers, but now FHA and VA buyers have a real chance. I'm seeing sellers accept these type of loans again because they don't have a ton of other offers to choose from. And that's huge if you're a first-time home buyer, or maybe you just don't have a massive down payment saved up. And honestly, the whole process is just way less stressful for buyers right now. All right, now let's talk a little bit about price reductions, because that's the real trend that I'm seeing. So in San Diego County, about 30 to 35% of homes have at least one price drop before selling. And no, that doesn't mean the whole market is falling, but it does mean that some sellers are way more realistic with prices now. But the thing is, just because a home has a price reduction doesn't automatically make it a good deal. Sometimes a house that's been sitting for 45 days with 2 price drops is still overpriced. So don't get caught up in the discount on the price and focus on whether it's truly a good long-term investment. And I always tell my clients to not put themselves in a tough financial position, because there's a ton of other expenses that you got to pay for. And one of those expenses that's really causing some big headaches right now is home insurance. San Diego has a ton of wildfire zones, and insurance premiums can be way more expensive here. And companies might not even offer coverage for some of these properties. Also, a lot of insurance companies aren't even writing new policies on condos or townhomes. So make sure you're taking a really good look at your insurance options when you're buying a house in San Diego. Now, one thing that's super important, especially right now, is don't buy a home unless you plan on staying here for at least 5 years. Because for most people, buying real estate is supposed to be a long-term play. And just because you buy a house today, it doesn't mean it'll be worth way more next year. The real value comes in the long term. All right, now for sellers, the days of getting 15 offers in a weekend are gone. And if your house is overpriced in this market, then buyers will just skip right over it. But if your home is priced right and it looks great, then you're still gonna be just fine. There's still buyers out there, but it's much more of a balanced market now. So don't be surprised when you get asked for some concessions. And at the end of the day, when there's room for negotiations, it's actually better for the entire market. You don't really want buyers or sellers to have too much power, because that's when big changes end up happening. So just to sum up everything for you, well, it's definitely not the frenzy we saw a couple of years ago, but we're also not anywhere close to a free fall. There's still a ton of people in the market here, and if interest rates keep dropping like they are, then I think things are really gonna pick up. But yeah, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in San Diego, make sure you send me an email or shoot me a text, whatever's easier for you. I actually love helping you get some more clarity about our market here, so let's definitely talk about it and see what we can do. And hey, even if you're not ready to make a move right now, that's totally fine. A lot of people I talk to just want to see where they're at and figure out their options. Oh, and go and check out some of the other videos on my channel, or maybe just watch this one right over here. They're all super helpful, and they're packed with a ton of information on San Diego. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.